Hello and welcome to episode 16 of X Interact, where Polar, aka Steven, Ark, aka Eric, Sam, and Gaff get together to discuss this week's biggest news in gaming and discuss that week's main topic. We got a whole bunch of, actually, we got a couple big topics this week, and then we got a fun main topic where we discuss what properties that we all would like to personally see be adapted into video games. And then I got a fun rotating segment for my two friends right here. Before that, let's get into the news. So, for our first news story, we got a PlayStation State of Play last Thursday, but it wasn't full of gangbusters like everyone wanted. There was no God of War, there's no Horizon, there was no Final Fantasy 16, which I'm sure disappointed
Boo.
Ark especially. But from what they did announce, there are a couple notable things. So I'm going to go through the list of announcements, and I'm only going to stop at the highlighted ones because whose news story is this? Which of you?
This is mine.
Okay. So I assume you'll have something to say about these bolded ones. So first we got Moss Book 2. Then we got a game called Arcageddon, which is fun fact was partly written by James Williams from Funhouse. We got Tribes of Midgar, and then in bold we have Fist in all caps coming out on September 7th, 2021. Sam, what do you got to say about that? Because I don't got much to say about that.
Yeah, I just bolded them because those are like the three games that kind of looked most interesting to me. All the other ones were like just not for me. So Fist is, I'm trying to think. Fist is the like, it kind of looks like it's like a side scroller, I think, from what it looked like.
Yeah, it was the rabbit with the big mechanical fist, right?
Yeah. So that looked kind of interesting. I don't know that I'll get it or play it, but yeah. That's all I got to say about that. September 7th though.
Yeah. Then we got Hunter's Arena Legends coming to PlayStation Plus August 3rd. This was a weird one. I just want to add in. It's like a melee battle royale with bunch of new characters.
Yeah,
I mean,
didn't they
good thing
say it was a fighting game battle royale mix or something like that?
Yeah, and it kind of fits into their last games they put out on PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus, like what was that? The knockout something.
Knockout City.
No, Knockout City.
Oh no.
The car one. Destruction All Stars, right?
Destruction All Stars. Yeah, like that. This is definitely a Destruction All Stars type of game where it needs all the help it can get to have a thriving player base.
For sure.
Yeah.
So then there was that. Then we got Sifu, which I think got delayed to early 2022. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, they did a little thing at the end where in the trailer they were doing a little transition with the ages, but then they did the same thing with the release date at the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least they were clever about it. I like Sifu when I saw it way back. So I'm with you, Sam. I'm excited for, not that I can play it, but I'm excited for this game to come out so that other people can enjoy it.
Yeah, that one looks the most interesting for sure out of the games that were shown.
Yeah.
Third-person kung fu game, and the style of the game looks
cool. Not many of those out there.
No, definitely not. Jet: The Far Shore, 2021. Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles, October 13th, 2021. I don't watch Demon Slayer, so it's not for me, but I'm sure the millions of Demon Slayer fans out there are ecstatic. I've only heard about the anime so much. Lost Judgment, September 24th, 2021. Sam, what did this tickle for you?
I don't know. It looked cool.
It's the Yakuza devs, no?
Yeah.
I thought it looked similar. I didn't know they were the same people.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Yakuza spinoff.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it.
Yeah. And I think now it's Judgment is gonna be the traditional Yakuza beat 'em ups, while they said the mainline Yakuza is gonna be turn-based like Yakuza 7 now.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Branching off to tackle different genres, make it different people happy.
yeah.
Um, Death Stranding director's cut, September 24th, 2021. So here is our second director's cut game after. Oh, sorry, this is the first one announced. Ghost of Tsushima was the second game that said they're gonna have a director's cut.
Yeah, but now we
So
got like the price and release date for this one. So this one is kind of similar to Ghost of Tsushima, but not really because it doesn't have. So you don't pay for a DLC, but you still pay for the $10 upgrade to PS5. But you still get like a lot of bonus extra stuff in there. And it seemed really interesting.
yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna
yes,
go back and play it, but for $10, at least that one, I don't know. Like I didn't like it in Ghost of Tsushima, but I feel like it's not bad here. But like, I feel like that's kind of hypocritical for me to say.
it's not getting the huge expansion that Tsushima is seemingly getting.
Yeah, but like there's like
But
new story stuff too. So I don't know.
yeah,
Like
you're getting new story stuff,
yeah, and
and
weirdly enough, a racetrack. I don't know why,
yeah,
but
it seems like they're adding a bunch of quality of life improvements, like for example, race cars and racetracks to have fun and get around to places faster. You get jump ramps.
yeah,
You have a robot to help you carry stuff.
looked like there's like
Um,
enhanced combat too, like new weapons and like melee combat's been improved as well.
yeah, combat was that a criticism of
Yeah,
the game?
it wasn't really like the main focus of the game. But like this
Have the
DLC, at least from what we saw at what was it? Opening Night Live for Summer Games Fest. It looked like
yeah,
they were teasing something like Metal Gearish, but I don't
yep,
know.
yeah, that was the one.
I don't know how this gonna like transition like once we get our hands on the full game. Like I'm tempted to try it out, but at the same time I'm like I don't know if I want to go back to Death Stranding. I liked it, but like that's not something I feel like I can replay.
Yeah, it seems like a really heavy game, um, and a really long game too.
Yeah.
So even if I play, I don't know if I play it again. Um, then we have Deathloop, more Deathloop, all the Deathloop. Still coming out September 14th, 2021.
Look,
And also in little tiny text at the bottom, you can see that exclusivity is for 1 year exactly. So it'll come to probably Xbox and just Xbox on September 14th, 2022. So
yeah.
that's good to know.
Look, no hate in the devs, but like we've seen that game enough times already.
Well, they
God
gotta. They can't just let people forget about it, right? They need people to buy it.
I don't know. I feel like they don't really. They feel like they show the same stuff every time, and it's like enough already. Like we get it.
I don't know. Like, do people still understand what this game is? Do I even understand what this game is? I'm not. It's like you die, and
I've
then what
seen it
happens?
so many times and I still don't understand what's going on.
Like I understand like maybe some of it, but like not all of it. Like the invader portion. Like how exactly does that work? Like I know we can invade the game with somebody else, but like how do we
Yeah.
activate that? How does it affect us if we're playing as the invader? Like stuff like that.
But yeah, it just baffles me. We've seen this game for almost just about over a year now, and still got a ways to go before it comes out. Um, Sam, what's this next thing you put? They'll be back before we know it.
That's what the lady said at the end, and it makes me think they're gonna have another event very soon.
Okay.
That is, because I also titled this section, Sony. These games aren't big enough to be at our actual event, because that's what this
Fair
felt like.
play.
I was hoping for 16 to be here, and
Yeah.
I'm not really let down because there was some news that came out I think yesterday about it, and I wanted to include it
Yeah.
here, but I was like, nah, I'll probably include it sometime later. But I can mention it here now. Yoshida in the 14-hour broadcast for Final Fantasy 14, because they do that for like anniversaries or whatever, like a 14-hour long broadcast. He mentioned that English voice work is no. He mentioned that the scenario is already done, and that they're about to be finished with the English voiceover. I believe he said that they never plan to be at E3, and that they're probably not going to be at Tokyo Game Show. But I'm still thinking the game's gonna come out next year because main scenario is done and the English voiceover is about to be done soon. So I got a good feeling about next year.
I agree. I think it's coming next year.
Yeah, it seemed like well into progress back when we saw it last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it had to wait much longer. And then the next thing that Sam wrote is questions, and he has 6 questions, and they're all about Stray. Where cat
Where
game?
was
When
it?
cat game?
I mean, where was a
I don't
lot
know,
of
man.
stuff, to be fair.
Huh?
Where was a lot of stuff, to be fair, you know?
Yeah, but he wants
Yeah,
Stray
but
and only Stray.
we're Stray. Come on. We've only seen it one time.
Yeah, I have a
They haven't
friend
talked about
who
it
owns a
at
cat,
all.
and he was pretty interested in Stray.
Yeah, it
I don't
looks
know.
interesting. Not many games you
Are you,
play as cats, let alone
are you
in a
sh-
cyberpunk world.
are you sure it hasn't already come out and just flew under the
No,
radar?
I
Okay.
might have to look that up real quick. I don't think
That'd be
it
embarrassing.
I don't think it came out yet.
No, it hasn't.
That'd be awkward if it already did.
It still says initial release date 2021. Doubt it.
I mean, they could shadow drop it after an event and it would do just fine. I don't think it'd make any difference.
PS Plus. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Sony's State of Play. Not full of bangers like everyone wanted, but you can't say they didn't show some cool games.
Yeah,
At least they told us it wasn't going to be full of bangers at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Like, even though I expected
They set
14,
expectations at
16, I
least.
wasn't really, like, disappointed. I was just like, okay, I watched that. It was all right.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting 16. I was just kind of hoping.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Sony, and then we move on to the second in the big three. Big three of our news stories and big three in the gaming world. Nintendo, who finally announced not the Switch Pro, but the Nintendo Switch in parentheses OLED model. Because why not? So on July 6th, the morning of July 6th, everyone woke up to see that Nintendo put out a 2.5 minute video of their latest Switch model. And obviously, I was super duper excited. I was ready to see the latest hardware from Nintendo. I want that 4K, I want that DLSS. And I got some of that. So in full detail, the Nintendo Switch parentheses OLED model will include a 7-inch OLED screen, a wide adjustable kickstand, like in the Surface tablets, enhanced speakers, a built-in Ethernet port. A built-in Ethernet port in the dock, so you can have LAN parties. And instead of 32 gigs of internal storage, you now have 64 gigs of internal storage.
Woo.
And
the biggest change there, am I right?
It. That's it. It will be available on October 8th, which is the same day as Metroid Dread, and it will be sold for the price of $349 USD. And that was everything in the video. And then shortly after, Tom Warren from The Verge confirmed that Nintendo told him that there are no performance improvements. There's no upgraded internals, so games will not run any better. It will not be any faster. It is the same Switch. It will be essentially the same Switch that you've had this whole time, except if you play handheld, then you'll have much better contrast, way better blacks, and a wider screen. However, if you play docked, this will pretty much make zero difference to your gaming life at all. Oh, and it comes in white.
Ew.
I mean, that white does look pretty good.
It
Can
looks
match
good.
my PS5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my Series S in the back there.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
But so I had notifications on from Nintendo on Twitter for like the past month, just waiting for that Switch Pro announcement. And so when that notification finally came from Nintendo, I was like, oh shit, better check this out real quick. And I was like kind of high on the hype. But then like after like a while, I was like getting lower and lower and lower every time I like saw the updates. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy one because I still have a day one Switch that doesn't have the improved battery or whatever. But like now that I
Same.
thought more about it, I really don't need this at all.
Like, I want it,
Yeah, I
but
want it, but
I just
I'm
can't
like,
justify it.
eh.
I don't want
It's
it.
more expensive than a Series S,
Oh
especially
yeah,
in Canada.
no, this is the base Switch itself is the same price as the Series S, and like it's two different consoles. One's portable and one's really not. So you can kind of give some leeway there, but like it's still
Now
really
you're,
expensive. Like
yeah,
$50 less, you can get a Series S. $50 more, you can get a PS5 discless version. So like, I don't, I don't really see the benefit of if you have to choose one console. I don't think it's gonna be this one. It would either be a Series S or a PS5 digital.
ugh. Sam, what do you think?
I am not coming within any sort of radius of this fucking thing. Never in my life.
Now,
Jeez.
Not buying it.
now I know. So I added a few questions in here. Like, do you guys think this was the rumored Switch Pro that Bloomberg reported on a while ago? Because it does seem to match up on some of the stuff, but not all of them.
Yeah, it's bizarre that such a reputable source reported this, and they only got it half right. Which makes me definitely believe that the Switch Pro does exist in exactly the form that you described. Um, but I strongly believe, and I've seen this theory floating around, that they they made a decision and they switched up their plans, and they instead just opted for the OLED screen, and they're saving the Switch Pro for a later day.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I think there will be a
No, go ahead, Sam.
more than one more model of the Switch.
Yeah, because if you guys seen the doc in the next question I posted, if we if we still expect the quote unquote real Switch Pro, I linked a tweet by Takashi Mochizuki who quoted somebody else saying this new I don't know how you pronounce that name, Serkin Toto, um, who stated that this new Switch looks like more like a interim model than a real upgrade to them. Like it might be like a stopgap model until next year for when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. And like I was kind of on the fence because it seems like Nintendo's releasing a hardware revision every 2 years. Because we had the Switch in 2017, then in 2019 we had the Switch Lite, and now in 2021 we're getting the Switch OLED. So I was thinking either maybe in 2 years we see the Switch Pro or a Switch 2 or something. But if this tweet is accurate, then we might see the Switch Pro next year, which also makes it kind of weird on why they would release this now. Because I feel like people who buy this would get,
Money.
well, yeah, of course. But I feel like people who buy this now, later this year, would get burned when the Switch Pro gets announced next year. In my opinion, I don't think we're gonna see it next year. I still think we're gonna see the 2 year dev cycle. So we're gonna see the Switch Pro in 2023, I believe it will be, or the Switch 2 or whatever it's gonna be. So we'll have to
So
see
long
when that
from now.
happens. But
Super Switch.
yeah, Super Switch, whatever they call it. But it is a bummer that we're not getting that enhanced Switch now because these games are not running well on the Switch that much anymore. Like even when Breath of the
Yeah,
Wild came out, there were frame rate issues in that game, especially in the Lost Woods Forest. And I don't know
yep.
if you guys ever played Age of Calamity, but that game does not run well on the Switch. Not at all.
It it's also bizarre because Jason Schreier, he said something about the Rabbids video back at E3,
I
and he
think
said that thing looks suspiciously. It looked like it suspiciously ran better than it should have been.
yeah, there were a lot of people who were actually saying that like Rabbids looked a lot better than it should have. And I guess like maybe something happened in Nintendo. Like people, I think people there was like people were speculating that maybe due to the component shortages going on in the world right now that they changed plans since they probably had the OLED screens but they didn't have the enhanced chips for the system. So maybe they changed
So
last minute.
So there's the next question is interesting here on the doc. Are people right to be mad at this? Personally, I think we none of us have any reason to be upset. I mean, it's our fault for believing in rumors and taking them to heart that much because this, no matter how reputable you are, you can always get things wrong. And it's not like the general population is looking at all these rumors. Most people don't get a hint of news whatsoever in their day-to-day lives. So it's only for the 1%, like people like us, who even had any expectations to begin with. For most people, this came as a surprise, and
For sure.
they'll either mildly care about this, or this will be the thing that gets them to buy a Switch. So no, I don't think Nintendo is at fault for anything.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, you can be disappointed in it and like critique Nintendo, but I don't think you can be like, oh man, Nintendo promised us this, this, and this when it was like
They
all this
didn't.
information. Yeah, they didn't. It was all from
Yeah,
like
they didn't promise
leaks
shit.
and rumors and stuff like that that you always have to take with a grain of salt, no matter how much evidence there is. Never fully trust in a rumor because let's all look back to the Grinch leak for Smash Ultimate. People said that was
Yeah,
pretty convincing, but look how that turned out. So
same squinting, but this is the Grinch League was a whole mess
yeah,
a while
and
back.
like this might not be the Switch Pro. The way I see it, and like I didn't list it here, but like the way I look at this model is that it's like a 3DS XL model to the Switch, like how
Yeah,
the Lite was to the 2DS, and how the base switched to 3DS. So I just think they're probably like mimicking that release model where they have the base, the Lite, and the XL.
yeah. Nintendo, they look at how many DSs and Game Boys they have.
Yeah,
There'll be more Switches. You'll eventually get what you want.
for sure. And then
Okay,
we all
what's
said
enough
we're not
Nintendo?
getting one, so
Oh, sorry.
it's not
Yeah, we're
for
not getting
us.
one. I'm not getting one.
I was close to getting one.
My friend went to.
Uh, I was like, maybe I should buy one so we can unbox it on the channel. But I was like, nah, I don't need it.
That is the last reason you need to buy one.
Well, I mean, I
Um,
wanted to upgrade my day one Switch too, but like again, I thought it over and I was like, nah, I'll just wait for the Pro.
yeah. Moving on to Assassin's Creed Infinity. So this story first broke from a Bloomberg article, again by Jason Schreier. Um, Infinity Assassin's Creed Infinity will contain multiple settings with room to expand to others in the months and years following its debut, said the people who asked not to be identified, discussing a project under development. Individual games on the platform might look and feel different, but they will all be connected. So this project is being created by Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Quebec, and the executive producer is Marc Alexis Cote, and will be led primarily by the Ubisoft Quebec team. So that's who's making it, and it was made official in the same day, I think, from that article. So Ubisoft wanted to get ahead of all the whispers and wanted to be the people to dispel all the rumors and stuff. Also in the same article, Ubisoft spokeswoman declined to comment on the sexual abuse allegations. So they're keeping quiet about that still. They want everyone to look at this story and focus on it so they don't look at all the bad stuff that's going on behind the scenes. That's a whole discussion for another day. But let's discuss Assassin's Creed Infinity. Sam, I know you have thoughts. What do you think about this?
I just want to say this was very close to my E3 prediction.
Is it not exactly your
of-
E3 prediction? What'd you get? What was off?
Yeah. What's that?
Wasn't it exactly
It
what you
was.
predicted?
It was not exactly. I mean, it's not really even that close, but like,
It, oh.
the whole like thing that is close is that it's. I think I said it's multiplayer and that it's you use the animus to go to different time periods, and that's I know
Yeah.
that part has been is like what I guess Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be. Um, but yeah, I I think this can be cool, but Ubisoft is probably like the last publisher that I would trust to be able to pull it off. Because like they tried to copy The Witcher 3, and that hasn't. I mean, they've made 3 okay games, whatever, that are way too big and
Valhalla's more than
not.
okay.
Yeah,
And
it's good, but it's not. I don't
Origins
know.
is also good.
There's too
I
much.
will
Also, the
defend
end
that.
of Valhalla is awful.
Well, that's to each their own.
Awful. But man, I don't know. Because the thing they've been trying to do too much with these games. Like they had the whole like mercenary system in Odyssey, and like the whole like war like battles in Odyssey. They've tended to start like trying to implement too many systems into their game, and none of them are good because they're trying to focus on too many different things. And I feel like that could easily and probably will happen with this type of game. But at the same time, I feel like if they do it right, then
Be sick.
it would be cool, because then it would just be like, every once in a while they drop a like story
So hey, you want to go to Japan
content.
today?
Yeah.
Dropping the Japan expansion next week. Go ahead.
And hopefully they'll be like, not they'll be like sub 10-hour experiences maybe.
Yeah, or else this
Some of them.
game file is going to be massive.
Yeah, or like instead of this what they've tried to do with the last 3, just make the biggest game they possibly could. Because I'd rather jump through like different time periods like this is saying it's going to be, which again, I'm I, I'm excited, but also very pretty skeptical and not optimistic about things.
Yeah, well, I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's lots of potential for some cool stories here. And what I'm nervous about is what's going to happen to the narrative. Because
Yeah.
I care about the overarching Assassin's Creed story. Like, are we ever going to see the resolution of the present day storyline? I don't know. Or
Dude,
what's
oh
going to
my
be
god.
what's going to be the connecting thread between all these games slash expansions. I hope it's not. I hope it won't be too isolated. I want progression in the overall story. So please, Ubisoft, don't forget about that.
Please bring back Desmond. That's all I want.
Not gonna happen.
Well,
That's all
Desmond
anyone
is
wants.
Desmond did come back. Spoilers,
I mean, kind
in a
of.
way, right? If you really read between the lines.
It, again, the end of that game is awful.
I feel like I heard something about this, but I can't remember what it was.
It takes too long to explain it to you.
Well,
At this point, I don't
there,
really care.
there is
I'm
no
done with Assassin's Creed, I think.
there is no physical uh character in the game that looks like Adam Sandler, so Desmond is not in the game.
If you want to look at it that way, fine. Okay.
But yeah, complicated.
So those are our news stories for the week. All good fun. So let's move on to our main topic, which is what properties do each of you want to see adapted into video games? So my property leads into my next segment, so I'll save mine for last. So which of you wants to go first?
Now this is tough because what hasn't been adapted to a video game at this point? Like,
Exactly.
that's really tough.
What are your favorite movies, TV shows, pieces of entertainment?
See, that's the thing. I don't watch TV much anymore.
Damn.
I mean, while we were going to the news, I did think of at least one, I guess. Have you guys ever seen the movie Chronicle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess something like that. Yeah, like it was a while ago since I watched it, but it was like a bunch of teenagers getting like superhero or superpowers and like what they were doing to them. I think that would be like something cool with that.
It was a found footage movie too. It was a
Yeah,
super
it
cool
was, yeah.
style.
Yeah. Kind of bummed there was no sequel because that was a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, it didn't end on a cliffhanger, but there was definitely room to explore more.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Along
Chronicle.
with that, along with that, have you guys watched the Boys on Amazon?
No, but I've heard so
Absolutely.
much about it.
The Boys
So
is bueno.
I have not watched all of it. Like I've barely watched any of it, but I think that would be a kind of a cool video game. Just fucking
For sure.
murdering people.
Actually, I got another one. Technically, there's already video games of this, but I like to see the Bad Batch, like as a what is that game? Republic
Okay.
Commando sequel. That would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh shit. Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Yes,
cool.
There needs to be more Star Wars video games for
Yeah.
sure.
Like not just Battlefront or like stuff like that, but like other stuff too. Like
Yeah.
how it was back in the day. They branched out a lot.
And I'm glad they're also finally doing a fucking Avatar game. Well, I guess they had a tie-in with the movie back when it came out, but like,
that doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing an Avatar game because like, I don't love Avatar, but I don't like. I'm not on the Avatar like hate train either because I really like the world that's set up in it, and it's super interesting and like cool sci-fi stuff. The story's awful. There's some terrible actors in the movie, but I feel like it's a good world to have a video game in. So, yeah, I'm glad they're finally doing that. Yeah.
When you said Avatar, I went first to The Last Airbender, which have either of you guys watched?
Yeah.
I have not.
I recently rewatched it like a year or two ago, I think it was, like the entire series. The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
And Korra? Nice.
Yeah.
Sam, you're missing out. It's an S tier show. I don't know why you haven't watched it, but please do someday.
Now.
Is it on any streaming services?
It's on Netflix, at least Canadian Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. It might still be. I'm not too sure.
And Korra, but just
man, I can barely get myself to watch anything. The only thing I watch is the fucking Marvel shows.
Yeah.
The MCU's got me by the balls, man.
I mentioned Bad Batch earlier. I have to catch up to it. I haven't watched a couple of episodes in a while.
Oh, I haven't watched that. I gave up on watching Clone Wars.
Oh, you're missing out.
Oh, come on.
You're missing out.
Dude,
I like it. It's just I don't know. I can't get myself to watch it.
I gotta watch Rebels too. Like I know people say it's so good, but I haven't watched that yet either at all.
And like, I also got halfway through Invincible and stopped watching that.
Are you kidding me?
That'd be a good video game.
Even though I liked it, but I just stopped watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. But
I think I have 2 episodes left of Watchmen. Never finished that. Yeah.
I don't blame you for that. Watchmen is a slow burn.
Yeah. I really liked Watchmen. I just ended up stopping and then haven't gone back to it. Just one of those things. Can't go back. You know what?
Well,
another property just got reminded me because I was talking about Disney Plus because they're making a show off of it. You guys ever read the Percy Jackson books?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so those were like my Harry Potter. Like everybody loved Harry Potter. I fucking loved Percy Jackson.
Yeah, that was my shit.
And I'm super excited they're making a fucking TV show out of it because the movies were awful.
Were they really? They look cool. Like I never
so
seen
disappointed that they sucked.
Oh, wow.
Even if you didn't know about the books, they were still bad movies.
Oof.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Okay,
like,
good to know.
Oh god.
Because I
so bad.
I never seen the movies, but the trailers would always look so cool back then. But I guess they're not good.
Yeah. I don't even know. How many did they make? Did they make?
They only got like. They made 2.
How many? 2? Okay. I couldn't remember if they made it to the third one or not, but
God no.
I don't even know if I saw the second one. I might have seen like some of it.
I did
But man,
not.
they were not good. They were worse than the Maze Runner movies. I don't know if you've seen those, but
My friend loves the Maze Runner. I don't know. Are those bad?
the books are good. The movies are whatever. The first one's okay, but the last two are yeah.
Yeah.
But
Percy Jackson
I
sounds
would
dope.
yeah, I would want Percy Jackson as a game. I don't know what like the genre of it would be, like what the gameplay of it would be, but I
I
don't know.
mean, give me an RPG. Like you pick which god
Yeah,
is your father or mother, and then you train up at
yeah.
Can Half Blood, and you go
You
fight
know
some
what?
monsters and titans.
Yeah, they should. Well, I guess it's not a WB property, but I'd say they should just cancel Hogwarts Legacy and make that instead.
Oh,
Because as far as I know, Rick Riordan is not transphobic, but I also don't entirely know that.
I hope to God he's not. That'd be a shame.
I hope so too.
Um, I mean, yeah, just reskin Hogwarts Legacy to be a Percy Jackson game.
Yeah, just get rid of the castle, make it a fucking like
Summer
fucking
camp.
camp.
Might be a little hard, but I'm sure they can do it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of books, so the property that I want to adapt and I want to introduce to all you guys is a little tiny book series called Stormlight Archives. Um, so remember back during E3, I told you guys about Mistborn, the Mistborn books?
Oh yeah, you said something about Fortnite having a crossover with it, I believe.
Yeah, that too. Um, so Mistborn is one series of books in the author's grand, wider universe of books. So in this
Yes.
other series of books called the Stormlight Archives, they're much larger books. Like one book is like over 100,000 words, where the average is like actually it might be over 200,000. I'm not sure. Um, so how it goes in this book is that a long time ago there were these 10 orders of knights, um, and each. Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back. So how the magic works in this book series is that there are 10 superpowers. Think about that. 10 superpowers, and they're all in a circular diagram. And there are also 10 orders of knights. Each order of knight has two of the powers. And they just go in a circle. Um, so every adjacent order, they'll share one power, right? But they'll have a different power from the other, and so on and so forth. And the powers, they range from being able to manipulate gravity, but not in the way you think. A character will reduce their weight by half, to levitate, or they'll reduce it even further to just fully fly, but they can only go in a singular direction, and then they'll change the gravity in another direction in order to change their vectors. It's a very mechanical based magic. Another type of magic is light weaving, for example, where it lets you create illusions made of light. Um, you got other powers like disintegration, or the ability to heal others, or to not teleport in a way, but also kind of teleporting. And all this magic is fueled by a substance called Stormlight. And in this world, Stormlight is stored in like their currency, and it gets used for like before they really start to use it in the magic, it was just used for more mundane things like powering their fireplaces or their machines. And once their Stormlight runs out, they can only be recharged when a certain kind of storm passes over them.
Hmm.
So these knights, they disappeared for a long, long time, and then the main character, he discovers that he's one of these knights, um, and he has to learn how to use his powers. And the best thing about this is that so it's like a video game already, because when you start out, you're basically level one, and you don't get to level two until you have some sort of personal growth for themselves. So the Windrunners. The Windrunner is the order for the main character. And the Windrunners are like your typical protagonists, like they're heroic, they're selfless, they're brave, they want to do good for all people. And so the character, he swears his first oath, which is life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. And this oath is shared by all 10 orders of the knights. And he levels up to the second one when he finally accepts that he must protect those who cannot protect themselves, for example. So this is a great mechanic because it ties their own internal character progression with the progression of their powers and their abilities. So they don't get stronger until their character develops, which I think is a genius way of writing your story and your characters.
This just sounds like he wrote a book off of a video game series.
I know he does that a lot, and it makes me so sad that he didn't actually. This game doesn't already exist. So what I had the three of you do, I had you guys take a quiz that would place you in each of your orders. So I'm gonna first read off what Polar got, and he is a will shaper, and I'll explain more of that later. Ark, I believe you got Truth Watcher?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Sam, what did you get?
I got Will Shaper as well.
Okay. So and I got Windrunner. So before I delve deeper, what did you guys think of the questions that they asked? If you guys remember at all.
I hate you for making me take this type of quiz. I hate this.
Me too.
Freaking oh god.
Why?
And it was the worst version. It wasn't even like this or that. It was I had to drag a percentage. Oh
yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I have to think about myself like that. Ugh.
You don't want to psychoanalyze yourself?
No, I hate that crap. Like
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I hate questions like that where it's like it wasn't even like most likely, less likely, stuff like that. It was like a percentage, and it was like, okay, like did I put 50%, 60%, 70%? Like well, how much of it makes a difference?
69%.
69%. Yeah, like what the heck?
Okay, so let me ask you guys, if you remember, are you guys more hard on sleeve or do you have a poker face? Which one do you lean more to?
I think I'm more hard on sleeve. I'm terrible at like lying through my teeth, basically, which I'm pretty sure counts for another question too.
I think I was more poker face.
That I'm not surprised about that at all.
Poker face, poker face.
Are you guys more cautious or daring?
I want to say daring, but in reality, I'm more cautious.
I think I left that one in the middle.
Okay. Peacemaker or Firebrand?
I did Peacemaker because I'm pretty sure Firebrand means like you're more willing, hot-headed to get in the fights, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did Peacemaker.
Yeah. I did more Firebrand.
Yeah, I expect you to be a Firebrand more.
I don't like this. Now I'm getting judged.
I don't remember the exact percentages I put, but I lean more towards the other one, you know?
Are you guys more... Okay, yeah.
So I know I said I was Will Shaper, but it had like the percentages at the bottom of like what you were of each category.
Oh, I didn't save that.
So I was 70% Will Shaper, but I was also 70% Stoneward.
Interesting.
And then I was 69% Lightweaver.
Nice.
I'll delve into that.
All three of those were kind of
like... I'm curious about this. Are you more spiritual or skeptical? Personally, I'm more skeptical. But I've been, over the past year, I've been more spiritual. I've been trying to tune into that side more. What about you guys?
That was one of the few things I dragged to 100% skeptical.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact percentages, but I did.
Honestly, it's not even skeptical. It's just denial of everything.
I was more skeptical, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you guys better be honest about this. Are you more compassionate or dispassionate?
I did compassionate. I'm too I'm too nice.
Yeah.
All right, what were the options?
Compassionate or dispassionate?
I think I put myself slightly towards compassionate,
Okay.
I believe.
I try to be compassionate.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Um, lastly, what about competitive or casual? I'm very casual.
I think I did a little towards casual, like, but I do like being competitive sometimes, just not all the time.
90% competitive, because I tell myself I don't really care, but man, once you get in the heat of battle, oh, you're done. You're
Listen,
done. It's all me.
that was me in Smash Bros for the longest time. And I kind of that the internet made me give up on that game because
Yeah.
netcode's not great in that
Yeah.
game.
I'm a terrible loser, so I hate losing.
Me too, but like I'm not. I don't get as angry to just throw my controller across the ground like some people do. I was close one time, but I was like, wait, this is a $70 controller. Let me just put this down.
Nice.
No harm has come to the DualSense yet.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've all figured out our respective orders. They're called the Order of the Knights Radiant. Okay, so let's start with arcs, the Truth Watchers. So you can use your two powers are illumination and progression.
That's it. I make a nightlight.
No, illumination is
Loser.
illumination
Exactly.
is the illusions. You can make a whole slew of illusions depending on how creative you are with light. You can change your own appearance. You can create fake walls
Cool
or
power.
rocks to hide in. You can even change the sound of your voice, or you can make other noises. So you'd be very tricky with that.
Arc, my powers are way cooler than yours.
God
I'm just gonna say
damn.
that now.
And your other power is progression, which is the ability to heal. Very handy. And it says here that truth watchers are often scientists, scholars, and tinkers, this led to them being perceived as quiet and rather stoic in their pursuits, and they're more reserved.
The
Would you
fuck?
say that
I know this is a
would that
personality
match
test,
your
but how the hell did it
personality?
get me like almost? How the hell did it get me like that good? Jesus.
Oh, okay, okay.
Cause yeah, I do like tinker with stuff sometimes. You guys know like I know how
Yeah,
to
I
do
can work
OBS
with that.
stuff a little more. I do like fix some game consoles a little bit, and the reserve part, yeah, it's definitely true. Like I might seem outgoing here, but I'm like really fucking shy in like real life and shit.
Oh, yeah, you do strike me as very a person that loves to research and loves to find out why things happen or why they work. And if you don't know, then just you strive to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's nice. It had you down pat. Um, and the Truth Watchers haven't been in the books much, um, but hopefully they will be in the future.
So now you're saying I have like no
Um,
screen time? Jesus, I'm a background
not
character
yet,
now.
not yet. um, for sake of discussion, Sam, let's give you Stoneward. Is that what you're looking at, or were you looking at Else Callers before?
What?
When you said your powers are way cooler, which order were you looking at?
I was looking at Will Shaper because they can
Oh, okay.
travel between cognitive and physical realms and allows you to alter the shape of solid objects. Sounds cool. But the Stone Ward was the one that I was tied with at 70%. I would like to know what that is. I don't get to see what that is.
So the Stoneward's powers are cohesion and tension. Um, so they're almost very similar. Essentially, you can alter the density of objects, so you can make stone uh, be very fluid and be able, so you can stick through, or you can make something very durable and very hard. Um, so it makes you very useful at building structures or creating
Like
things almost out of nothing.
I'm like the obelisk in Agents of Shield.
Oh, yeah,
Anybody
I
get
remember
that
that.
reference?
Wow, that's that took me back. Good job. Yes, you can make things liquid
Classic.
and solid as you wish. Um, again, haven't seen these guys much in the books yet, but I'm sure they're just as awesome. Um, for Polar, he's a wheel shaper, and I guess also Sam. So their strategies are transportation and cohesion. So on top of cohesion, um, their transportation power lets them go into what's essentially a different realm in the world, and the distance in that realm is different from the real world. So, for example, traveling a meter in this other world will get them like a kilometer in the real world. Um, the only catch is it's not that easy to go in and out of these worlds. There are lots of monsters and threats in that other world that can catch you off guard. So it's not a power that you want to use willy nilly.
Like the upside down.
Sorry, what was it?
Said it's like the upside down in Stranger Things.
Oh,
Those
my
monsters.
sound's all messed up. Vamp for a quick sec.
High arc.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna mention because Gaff, you're like kind of going out of sync real quick and like lagging a bit.
The lag is real. Are you back?
Technical difficulties.
back.
Please stand by.
I'm back. I'm back. Am I back? I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm the Windrunner, which is another word for protagonist, because the main character is a Windrunner.
All right. All right. I think you're lying.
I think he cheated because he knows about this property
I'm
a lot more
calling
than us.
BS.
I know I'm making this up. I answered the questions
Oh,
truthfully
boy.
and honestly. So like I said, the Windrunners, they love to. Their big thing is protecting people, protecting the innocent, protecting the weak. So their
Overdone.
ability, yeah, I know, but you get what you get. So yeah, one of their powers is gravitation. So they can either change the direction that they fall in, as in change the direction that gravity pulls them. So pull them up, pull them sideways, pull them diagonally, and they can change the magnitude of how fast it pulls them. So to go faster and faster. It's not really flight, but they use it in order to accomplish flight. They can also reverse the gravity, so they can make things sticky, or they can make things pull towards it. And that is the Windrunners. Yeah, the one of the leaders. They're very charismatic, and people are drawn to them. So yeah, I'm very happy to be a Windrunner.
I'm sure you are.
And that is basically my pitch for the Stormlight Archives. So for anyone listening, please read these books because they are probably the best books that you'll ever read in your entire life.
This podcast is not sponsored by those books.
I don't know. Well, so just by hearing all this, how does this world sound to you?
Sounds cool. I'd want a video game out of it. It already sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
For sure. Sounds like kind of like Western RPG-ish to me, so I don't know if I would play the video game because not really attracted to most Western RPGs, but still sounds pretty cool.
Mass Effect got you.
Well, yeah, I guess Mass Effect, yeah. That's true.
More of an action game, but
yeah, I think so. Like it wasn't really much RPG towards
gameplay wise, it's more action. At least the second and third one.
And I believe that concludes this episode of X Interact. It was a nice and short one. Ran into some difficulties. I had to rush here on the way home from my holiday home, but we all made it in the end. And thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you for being patient. Appreciate it.
No problemo.
So this has been Gaff, Ark, and Sam. Polar can't be here, unfortunately, but he will be here next time. It has been a pleasure, and see you next week. Bye.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye bye. Bye bye.